Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, all U.S. Constitution Protects All Lives Matter members out there, their families and their friends, and their loyal followers of the United States Constitution. It's we the people, for the people, by the people. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, it's nice and early. It's 6:20. I'm getting up early because I have to help out a brother veteran today who has a dire need, which is my job as a member of the American Legion and also as an American citizen, period. It doesn't make a difference if you're Italian American, Black American, or whatever. The American Legion helps its own and helps others amongst the community. Speaking on that, we will talk about other issues that are pending in the federal court system and also that did get resolved in the courts gracefully in the United States Supreme Court, which we praise the Supreme Court for its unanimous opinion in favor of the new transportation laws and policies. We commend them, and I'm sure every blue-blooded American trucker also commends them, and every citizen that is driving on the highways today of the United States of America. Today, ladies and gentlemen, there are three issues. One is the issue of fairness and equality and the obligation as an American citizen to teach your fellow American about the laws of the Constitution. It comes to really some serious distress, and I hate to shovel dirt or accuse anybody in the open, but for several years now, U.S. Constitution Protects All Lives Matter has been battling the Obama administration and its rogue agents that have infected our country in the court system, both state and federal. Judicial Watch seems to let it go on deaf ears. That FOIA complaints that were filed against the Executive Office U.S. Attorney under the Obama-Biden administrations was let go by. And in 2012, the founder of U.S. Constitution Protects All Lives Matter Incorporated, Kevin Rizzoli, was indicted while falsely violated for a parole violation and placed in MCC, New York. A warrant for his arrest was issued, and that warrant listed him as a black race male. He was arrested at his office. His reputation was tarnished. He was removed from his place of business and ultimately put out of business by some rogue federal agents loyal to the Obama-Biden administrations. While in MCC, he filed a FOIA request. And after that FOIA request was filed, the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, under Preet Bharara, indicted Kevin Rizzoli. Unbeknownst to the citizens of the United States and Congress, when they appointed and approved Damian Williams, then AUSA, in 2012, who prosecuted Kevin Rizzoli with a false military file. Kevin Rizzoli was never a day in the Army. But Mr. Fenton was also asked for assistance, and Judicial Watch refused and did not even respond. Now, thank God for Senator Ted Cruz's office, there is an investigation launched into possibly impeachment of several federal judges within the Southern District of New York. Such evidence is mountainous. Such evidence of court clerks' corruption is mountainous. Even possible implications of COINTELPRO being employed by the U.S. Postal Service is present. COINTELPRO and Project M was clearly exposed by Kevin Rizzoli as being employed in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. But on the Capitol disruption on January 6th, you could see it blatantly out there. Not only was it employed on targeted Italian Americans within the Federal Bureau of Prisons, it was employed on a reigning president of the United States of America, a vice president of the United States of America, and on other citizens in both the Senate and Congress. Locals in Washington, D.C. Now, it's coming out that there are several rogue FBI agents that are being fired and forced to resign from the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Those individuals, loyal to the Obama agenda, need to be hit with treason, just like they were hitting me in 1987 with facing double life. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't rat like Dominic Cicali, Jeannie Borelli, Mikey Scars, Francesca Frappiano, Joe Massino, Frankie Lino, Ronnie Filicomo, and Remy Sierra. We can go on a whole host, and especially Samantha the Bull. It's we the people, for the people, by the people. And just because a person doesn't want to rat, doesn't give the American Justice Department the right to try to force him to rat. And COINTELPRO and Project M has been employed many times on me while in Federal Bureau of Prisons, serving a Navy sentence, and as well as on other Italian Americans and Sicilian Americans and Italian citizens and Sicilian citizens. Such is illegal and unconstitutional. And that was deemed by a panel in the D.C. Circuit Court in 1987. Such COINTELPRO, MK Ultra programs, which now it has evolved into Project M, which I've physically seen in the computer systems in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. One in MCC New York and two FTC Philadelphia. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a nasty, nasty program. And such psychological programs undermine the Constitution pursuant to the 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 7th, and 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. Every citizen in the Federal Bureau of Prisons that's in pretrial custody has a right to a fair trial and has a right to go to trial and not to be forced into taking a plea agreement. And several times people have taken plea agreements just not to be placed in the bullpens every day, subjected to the abuse and mental anguish that you go through. The U.S. Department of Justice, under Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, has been rooting out these individual rogue agents, thanks to our President and Vice President of the United States of America today. You might be able to say what you want about Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, but these are two men amongst men. You cannot tell me that they're rats. J.D. Vance is a Marine, served his country. Donald J. Trump is taking this country back on its feet as he did several times his companies. That shows you his capabilities as a man and as a business driving force. The United States of America is a corporation. So therefore, you need an effective CEO, a driving force to bring back the country, as it has been slowly. But you have people that want to undermine it. Barack Hussein Obama and his band of merry men, who are his foot soldiers from Black Lives Matter Incorporated and Antifa, are supporting treason in this country and being advised by who? Barack Hussein Obama, which in turn should be taken before a tribunal to avoid any type of political overtones, undertones, whichever you want, or I say political influence, which, hey, you appointed the majority of the judges, Mr. Obama, that are making these false rulings to try to circumnavigate around the United States Constitution and rewrite the United States Constitution by making these rulings that clearly conflict with United States constitutional law policies and U.S. Supreme Court rulings. One such specific case is Rizzoli versus TQO et al. 25 CV 6307 before Judge Lyman and Magistrate Judge Ricardo, which is now in the 60B stage, and a motion to stay the appeal date until the ruling on the 60B is issued. There is a host of evidence which is placed into a Senate Judiciary Committee person to investigate the illegality and wrongful ruling against the United States Supreme Court's intent of 49 CFR 14501C1. So again, ladies and gentlemen, that is just one of many. Secondly, it is your job to help a veteran and your obligation to help a veteran find a place for housing when he asks you. It is not something for nothing. If he wants to pay for housing, you should help him. Secondly, when you're helping a veteran, you are helping the United States of America. Because once an individual takes that oath of office, that oath is in existence for life. You'll be recalled to duty at any time with the stroke of a pen. So when you attack an American serviceman or a veteran, it is being placed before Congress and the Senate as a violation of law. And if you injure such, you face the death penalty by death by hanging under Articles 2 through 9 and 18 U.S.C. 2441 under the United States Federal Code. We the people, for the people, by the people is here. We're wide awake, and we're not brainwashed under your Obama agenda, foot soldiers, Black Lives Matter, and Antifa. Remember one thing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't succumb to peer pressure. Don't succumb to little trinkets. And do not succumb to threats of bodily harm. Die for your country, just as everybody has done in the past. At Fort McHenry, the reason why the significance behind the Union Jack hitting the floor is because there was dead bodies piled up to not allow that such Union Jack to hit the ground. Not to come down, but stay flying. And a symbol of strength. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a symbol of strength. Those dead bodies are what you are today. Strong. America strong. You might not like it. You might hate where this says Navy veteran, but I went overseas and did 2 tours. And that's what every blue-blooded American should do when you are young enough. Serve your country. Unfortunately, you have some people that invaded this country's judicial system and caused it to go into disarray, because that's what COINTELPRO Project M is about. It is disruption, just like they've caused many, many, many people's minds to go in disarray about the January 6th Capitol disruption. So again, ladies and gentlemen, look, listen, and learn, and open your eyes. Don't be afraid. Be American. Stand up for what's right. Even in the underworld, criminals still have a code. A person who is disliked might be disliked, but if he didn't do nothing wrong, he don't deserve to die. A person who deals in drugs, if his family is murdered, that man or woman knows what the consequences are when you step across that line. So don't be shocked when you see something like that. Step aside, sidestep it. That's a different world that they know the consequences. Just like when Dominic Cicali ratted or Jeannie ratted, they know when they're caught up with, the punishment is death because they betrayed. They committed an act of treason to what oath they took. Or shall we say, Jeannie didn't take an oath because he wasn't worthy of it. They seen that flaw there. Thank God for them. But unfortunately, he made up lies and put people away. So again, ladies and gentlemen, let's not hop on the rats because that's what they want. They want that notoriety, that COINTELPRO operation, Project M operation, that is being ran in YouTube to give them the sense of strength and unity. The only thing they're unified with is their United States attorney when they give him a lap job, because they are what you call scum. The U.S. attorneys make a deal with the devil to let them go. You see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. And you see what happens in the world when you see people side with the likes of AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Cory Booker, Hakeem Jeffries, and the rest of the treasonists that have infected and invaded our country's Senate and Congress. So again, ladies and gentlemen, let me go prepare my day and gather my paperwork together so I may help this veteran find a place to live. God bless. And remember one thing. In God we trust is our motto. And we the people, for the people, by the people is our secondary motto. That's the foundation of the United States of America. In God we trust. God bless America. God bless all our troops serving domestically and abroad, fighting tyranny and tracking down treasonists and seditionists, and making their lives miserable, like they are trying to kill your U.S. Constitution and take over our country. God bless America.